President Donald Trump has just sent an alert throughout all of the Middle East. He is telling you, American people, if you are in areas near Egypt, Israel, Dubai, most certainly Iran, flee the Middle East now, because what comes next is going to be totally shocking. I'm going to break it down in this video because it is an urgent State Department alert. But I also need to discuss with you Morocco and Spain, because what the heck is happening when 60,000 people from Morocco, Africans, flood into Spain? Mind you, Spain did not agree to allow the U.S. to use their airspace in this recent Iran war. Let's talk about it. Get your coffee. I got my coffee. Let's sit and discuss what's actually happening in the expat world, in the geopolitical world. So the State Department has sent actually 2 alerts within the last 24 hours. Check it out. I am on their WhatsApp channel and things of that nature, so I can stay abreast of those things pretty seamlessly. When you guys see me on here and you're like, how do you have all this information? Because I have notifications. I have some of my team working for me to find this information. And at the end of the day, the State Department has expressed that if you are in the Middle East, inclusive of Dubai, Israel, Egypt, Abu Dhabi, the entire Middle East, Qatar as well, you want to exit as soon as possible, because what comes next is going to be the largest missile attack that we have ever seen America do towards Iran, and it will have ramifications throughout that entire area. Now, we have previously discussed on this channel, and I will try to leave the video, okay, because you need to be tuning in and seeing all of these videos in cohesion, because this is all in continuity. These things are working together, not for their good, but for our good as people in the diaspora who are traveling abroad, becoming expats, fleeing the West. We are coming down here to sub-Saharan Africa or to the global South and South Asia. We are not going to deal out here in these Middle Eastern countries and these European countries when all HE double hockey sticks is breaking loose. But get this, there's another State Department warning. For the first time, the State Department has put Spain on the list as well. Okay, Spain is on the list. Level 3 travel advisory, do not travel. Get this, they are mad at Spain. The West is mad at Spain. President Donald Trump and the Israelis are angry and frustrated at Spain. I was listening to an interview that President Donald Trump did, and he was talking about Spain and the EU. And he said, you know, the EU, they are counterparts, right? They do well and all of these things, but Spain has not been a good partner, okay? So you see how they have this language just passively aggressively, you know, they're not saying I despise Spain, but he's like, they're not one of our favorites. And so anytime you see this language from the United States of America, from Israel, from the United Kingdom, from even Germany, places like this, France, they're saying to you, we're about to cut you off. Okay, he may have said it 6 months ago, 9 months ago, even a year ago, but at the end of the day, they're like, we're about to cut you off. I know we've been unified as the European Union. I know we've been doing all these things the past couple of years and just having that unification that we did not have in the Dark Ages. You know, in the Dark Ages, Africa was a little bit more unified and powerful, and Europe was the one that was in chaos. But, you know, the roles flip. And you're seeing the beginning of that. You're seeing that Europe is no longer unified. When you kick Spain out of the European Union, as the Italian Prime Minister has said, we are reviewing the possibility of dismantling Spain from the EU. But then the Spanish guy, Prime Minister Sanchez, also said he's reviewing not being part of the EU as well. So the feeling's reciprocal. The feeling's like, hey, maybe Spain wants to become Africa at this rate. Remember? Does anybody remember the Dark Ages, the Moors of Spain, the Hebrew Israelites of Spain? Does anybody remember history and can attest like, oh, things are going back to how they used to be? Which brings me to the Mature Adult Intensive. Now, all of these alerts that happen, today is August 2nd, and we see flight alerts, federal alerts, State Department alerts. There has never been a time where it is more crucial to have global advisors who are specifically integrated in geopolitical strategy, finance strategy before exiting America, and know how to help you relocate abroad and not just pack your bags, use this moving company, here's a cute house. Oh no. Relocation global mobility strategy starts right where you are, my friend, on your couch in Columbus, Ohio, in Miami, Florida, in Dallas, Texas, in Harlem, New York. It starts where you are right now, strategizing so that you can save tens and thousands of dollars in the long run, go to a least corrupt African country, understand the flight routes that are awake right now and available right now, get you a partner or two, because in our small incubated mature adult intensive container, which you should read the enrollment guide, we help exhausted retirees, exhausted investors, exhausted entrepreneurs go from figuring everything out on their own to having a game plan to relocate to the best African countries that are on the market right now. We keep this information top of mind. We have research assistants constantly showing us what is happening on the continent, where your best opportunities are going to be. But like everything in life, there's seasons. There's a season where Mauritius is going to be a best, but maybe that season will go away in a couple of years. There's a season where Rwanda is best and wants to be the Singapore of Africa, but maybe that will go away in 10 years. There are seasons. Right now, Ghana is welcoming the diaspora without even having investment capital thresholds if you're a service-based provider. We broke this down in the State of the Diaspora just a couple of days ago. Now, most people don't talk about this. Most people talk about your Nairobi, your Accra, your Cape Towns, and say, you know, it's the prettiest city. It got rated the best to vacation. Ma'am, sir, we're not talking about vacation. We're talking about real global mobility strategy, looking at your next 5 to 10 years, saying, okay, where are you going to be able to open a trust to pass down to your children? Where are your children going to be homeschooled at? What bank accounts are you using right now before exiting America? You know what? Let me digress, because this is my favorite topic to discuss, but we need to get back to the meat of this video. Link in the description, or go to www.journeywithusmovetoafrica.com/services to inquire about the 4-week intensive. You have 7 days left. We begin August 9th, literally next Sunday. Now, there are 3 core questions that we need to consider when we're talking about what happened in Ceuta. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right, but it's spelled Ceuta in Spain, okay? Tens and thousands, about 60,000 people entered the Spanish enclave from Morocco, overwhelming the local authorities and prompting Spain to deploy, guess what? Military and police. So this was an outright invasion of Spanish territory. And I've watched the videos. I've seen, like, there's a truck that has thousands of men on it, hundreds of men on it, and all the men just jump out and flood into the border. So they're jumping out from this way, and then they're turning around to flood the border directly through Spain to get to Ceuta. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I'm sorry, I probably butchered it. But they are running. They are on a rampage to get to Spain, and you just have to wonder, this isn't natural, right? 60,000 people don't just get up 24 hours ago and say, okay, let's bomb rush Spain. And typically when you have a border, people can't get in that easily, so it makes you wonder, maybe they have some agents there at their Spanish border that let these people in. But then I have another question. Why now? Analysts point to economic pressures, social media rumors, human smuggling networks, and broader diplomatic tensions between Morocco and Spain over issues including Western Sahara. So they have some internal issues that they are going through right now as well. But I want to get to the third question that I have. Why? What does it mean for Europe? The crisis prompted emergency EU discussions. Temporary border measures because they're afraid that these 60,000 migrants could also flood into France and then flood into Germany and Belgium and just go through this whole cycle. Because if you don't know European geography, we have Spain, we have France that's not too far away to the north, so they could just hop that border, and then from France they could move on over to Germany and move on to other European countries. And you know, I was watching ex-CIA Andrew Bustamante, and he was breaking it down. I like to hear his perspective, whether you think he's still CIA or not. I think you can learn from anybody. I think I could learn from a rock. I can look at a rock outside and learn from it today if I wanted to. And so I was listening, and I was like, okay, that's interesting that even he believes that Israelis are behind this. President Donald Trump also wants to dismantle Spain, because I don't know if you guys remember, but just a couple of months ago, Spain would not allow America to use their Air Force, or their airspace, I should say, to enter Iran should it need to be established. Now, I want to be clear. The way America works, we tend to do things ahead of time, get things situated, communications. So it's not that they wanted to enter Spain right then. It's that they were trying to get consent from the United Kingdom, who eventually abided and said, yes, you can use our airspace. France also abided and said, yes, you can use our airspace if need be when you do an invasion. Spain said, no, don't use our airspace. So we're coming to a point where Spain does not want to agree with the United States, and they will not agree with the United States, but the Israeli conglomerate of the USA, who is really controlling America. I mean, Israel may as well be our capital in America, right? Because we just do their bidding. We do everything they want us to do, and that's just how it's always been. If you would look back historically, then you know what I'm talking about, especially if you have read The 13th Tribe, okay? Shout out to that book. But the Israeli intelligence is frustrated about this. It reminds me of, if you guys remember, when Kanye West was standing up. Now, I'm not a huge Kanye West supporter, but when he was standing up to declare what was happening, those Israelis and the folks kind of shut him up. They're doing the same thing to Spain. It's like, we don't just do this to black people anymore. We'll do it to you Spanish Europeans that don't listen as well. We can shut you up. We can dismantle your borders. We are so much more connected than you even understand. And so this presents a wonderful opportunity for the African continent, Ghana, Rwanda, Mauritius. I mean, we're just out here chilling. The European powers are turning against each other. The Israelis don't even have time to consider Africa the way they used to. And so they're just kind of confused. They're all over the place. They're fighting a psychological, geopolitical, and physical war all over the place, fighting with each other, fighting with Iran, also saying they want to recolonize Africa, though they don't actually have the numbers to be able to do that because our African continent is such a big continent. Meanwhile, the global south is rising. Economies in Africa, economies in Asia. I mean, the global south, we're just like rising. We're just like, nope, it doesn't even matter. It's like you're trying to stop somebody from getting to their place where they are meant to be, and there's nothing you can do to stop it but fight with each other and try to duke it out. Because remember, Europe is on fire. Remember the heat temperatures that were astronomical that we have never seen before. Remember, they now said that these fires are going to get worse in August and may just penetrate all of Europe and not just France, Spain, and Italy. So I want to know what you think down below. I think this is like insane. I think it's very interesting. I think it's very telling of the times, but I'm also grateful to be on this side of the world. I'm also grateful to see the resurrection of Africa, so to speak. I'm grateful to see that places that used to be colonized in Asia are rising as well, with their economies getting stronger. I'm happy to see that people are asking the difficult questions across the world. What's really going on with Israel? What's really going on with America? What's really going on with Spain? Like, I love when truth and reality comes out. Truth and reality, they may delay, they may take a long time, but once it's revealed, there's nothing you can do about it, because once the people are aware, they never go back to being asleep. Shalom, shalom. I'll see you in the next video. Check the links in the description. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what topic you want me to deep dive into next.